All right. Now, again, so some people from Facebook um, were wanting to know, they were wanting me to talk more about scoring to picture. I think the screen split might be more helpful. I don't know. It looks kind of goofy over here. I think this might be a little bit more effective um, for demonstrating what I'm doing as I'm moving notes around and stuff to picture here. I hope this is more effective. The aspect ratio of some of these things is kind of goofy, but let's go with it. Let's go with it. Let me jump back here to this, and let's hear what we got. I had just gotten started on this earlier when I had to take a break.
Unique in our solar system. The origin of life on our planet. Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity.
All right, that's about where I left it. That's about where I left it. All right, I'm being video producer here at the same time. So I had spent some time just trying to get my ideas down. Now, regarding scoring to picture, I gave this kind of analogy earlier that it's a bit like planning for battle. You get your ideas down, you take a survey of the land in front of you, and that would be the spotting, put in my markers, checked out the edits, the pacing, and then ultimately when the first shot is fired, which is, I guess, getting your first note or two down, then the field starts to change, right? And your ideas evolve in their own particular way. So already right off the bat, I can see that I'm going to still need to do some tweaks to this beginning here. Let's take a listen back.
Unique in our solar system. The origin of life on our planet. Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity.
All right. Let me just touch up this beginning. I think I have most of the sort of the timing and the pacing down. I just want to see if I can kind of focus this string trio a bit.
Unique in our solar system.
I'm going to change around some of the octaves here.
Unique in our solar system. The origin of life.
Yeah, that's a bit sweeter. I just felt like that bass, that like mid-range cello there was taking up too much space.
Unique in our solar system.
Mm-hmm. And just the entrance of this.
In our solar system. The origin of life on our planet. Home of legends, tragedy, adventure.
All right, I think we're off here. That's good. I think we're rolling. So again, with this one, it's not going to be that super tight editing and fussy sort of synchronization throughout the entire process of composing. I think it's going to have to be tight to picture right here, and then it doesn't have to be so strict. It's just not that kind of thing.
Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity.
I'm just going to go and balance out these parts a little bit more.
home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diverse.
The horn part is just going to be, it's just perfect. It's just the right sound for this project, I think.
And the diversity of life.
All right, now at that point it takes off, and I think that's really going to be the last part here where it needs to be like perfectly synced up to the picture.
And the diversity of and the diversity and the diversity of life.
All right, let me just make sure I got the right spot where this speeds up here. So this is the fiddly part of it, just making sure everything is lined up just right here. So it goes from a slow pan to a fast pan.
And the diversity of
right about there. So I think once we get some more notes in there, we can sort of nudge them around a little bit to make it work. So again, going back to the battlefield analogy, which of course everybody understands. My analogies are perfect. Once that first shot is fired, once you get some notes down, they sort of get a life of their own, and you have to keep correcting things, right? That's really the spirit of it here. All right, just looking at my voicing.
home of legends, tragedy, adventure,
Actually, I think it's not quite synced as well as it could be. I'm going to make a slight tempo change. And so the thing that I've done is just put a very basic a basic line in here. I just got the most basic orchestration of it as possible. And then I'm going to go and make sure that the movements in that are synchronized as well as I can get them to the picture. And then after that's in place, after that sort of skeleton, that scaffold is in place, then I can actually develop the music a little bit more because things are already lined up. So I think we are a little early on these edits.
home of legends, tragedy, home of legends, tragedy, adventure,
Just about right. And sometimes you have to go and make like super fine tempo adjustments. Oh, stop it.
home of legends, tragedy, adventure,
All right. So, I mean, that was a tempo change of like a quarter of a beat. All right, let's see how this is all playing.
unique in our solar system, the origin of life on our planet.
All right, so the fact that the lower instruments of our string trio arrive a little earlier than the melody is a little bit weird. I'm highlighting the wrong instruments here, so let's go to the main screen and take a look at our trio.
The origin in our solar system, Unique in our solar system. Unique in our solar system. The origin of life on our planet. Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life.
All right, I think that's sitting a bit better now. Let's go with this. I think we can clean up the violin entrance a little bit.
Unique in our solar system.
Just a bit fast in that violin. I wanted to give room to the narrator to take his entrance there.
Unique in our solar system. The origin of life on our planet.
Right, I think that's a bit better.
Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity.
Okay. We definitely don't need that horn to pop up there. Actually, it might be better to go down.
And the diversity. Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life itself.
And then we're going right into the title card. I've got a couple measures, 2 measures to make some type of swell up into this.
And the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
Right there. And the title card sort of drifts down. So maybe it's not right to have that. All right, so here I'm just trying to think through the phrasing so that when we land on the title card, it will be a nice resolution here. Sorry, CPU.
Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life itself.
All right, so clearly that's not going to work because that horn resolves already before it should. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, it's a bit of a strange thing. There's not too much of a sense of tempo or meter yet because it's just kind of like hanging. So I think I can get away with like a 5-bar phrase here, and it's not going to sound awkward. I haven't like established phrase lengths, so I think I have a lot of wiggle room to fit things in here, right? We don't have this kind of pattern in our brains of phrase lengths or themes or, you know, cadences and all this stuff. Is just sort of hanging time. So I've got a lot of room, I think, to play with this and get it to fit.
Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
All right, a little finesse and polish on this. Come on, CPU.
Home of legends, tragedy, adventure,
this better? How can we make it better? So we have a low E drone. And I think a conflict. Oh, right. The cello part and horn part should be doing the same thing. Well, dur. This is what happens when you take a break for a few hours and come back to it.
Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
All right, so again, we're just getting the scaffolding in place and getting our timing in place, and we work around that.
Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
I can almost hear the introduction to Das Rheingold. Alright, let's just flesh this out a touch. The phrase might work, it might not. Let's hear the whole thing back here.
Unique in our solar system. The origin of life on our planet.
Yeah, that violin's just moving too fast. It's just like timeless here. Just gotta be timeless. I was hoping to stay out of the way of the narrator, which is of course really important. But I think we can just kind of sneak this under. And again, like the timing is like, there's not really a meter here. I know I've got 3/4 time and there's a tempo, but sort of irrelevant right now. Just making sure my arrivals are hitting the right spots.
Unique in our solar system.
It's a bit better.
Unique in our solar system.
Just need to back off because the narrator's there.
Unique in our solar system. The origin of life on our planet. Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
All right. All right. All right, so that was a lot of tedious kind of shifting things around, but I think that is something that I can build off of. Now, just for the beginning, I don't think I need to build too much more on top of it. I don't want to overscore the beginning. I think we just need a couple elements here. What am I looking for? Tuba. Yeah, that's it. I have a tendency to overdo and overscore. Now, there's going to be time for that, I think, as the end approaches. We reached the last title card. Whoa.
Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
Yeah, I gotta ask myself if a tuba player could actually sustain a note like that. All right. Let's add a tiny touch of harmony. Is that my lead horn? Okay. I'm really feeling it that the horns are going to be doing a ton of work in this here. Yeah, I think we can do this here. All right, not too much. We don't want to bury the lead line. All right, that's horn 1. Horn 2 is going to be above. And we just got our droning E underneath. Some simple counter melody. If even that, let's see.
Home of legends, tragedy, adventure,
Just bring the volume down. This is not the lead.
home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
Right, and so just one of my ideas was to incorporate a kind of suspension in the melody. Let's hear how that plays.
And the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
How about a little more elegantly than that? All right, let me hear this back here.
Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
How about an escapement on the resolution of the suspension?
Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
Something like that. It's going to take some polishing up. I want a big fat swell. Something exciting. We want, what was the word I used in the other session? Noble drama. Noble drama. That's it. That is going to be the score. We want noble drama to contrast with petty drama. Like high school girls who might wear the same hat to a party. All right, let's hear how this swell is going to be.
And the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
I didn't hear any swell of any kind. What? Come on, we can do this. One more time.
Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
That's the idea. Just want to check how this thing dribbles away. Right, so it starts to kind of dribble away right on the third beat of this measure. So I'm going to kind of save the last push of that crescendo to match that.
The ocean.
Maybe. All right, that's going to take some tweaking. I want to add a couple more elements to this. Quick save here. I think this is going to be great, honestly. All right, so we established a string trio at the beginning. I don't want to shortchange them. I think we should have the lead part in there too on maybe solo violin on a low string, because the low string is where the noble drama is. No, it just has a quality to it that I think is a bit more serious. So that's what I'm talking about. And of course it goes out of range.
Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life.
All right, I can hear it in there. That's a nice doubling. Noble drama. Let's hear this part alone. Right, let's get a nice sappy glide up to that. You're supposed to glide. Like that. I think I can live with that.
Home of legends, tragedy, adventure.
Right, let's bring them out a touch more. And I think we're going to have the viola on top of the violin. There's nothing quite like the sound of the G string, ha ha, on the violin. It just has sort of a nasal, penetrating quality, very serious and earnest quality to it that I think fits this melody and the vibe. Where was my second horn? That's my second horn. So let's put that in the viola above the violin. Holy smokes. Okay. Just looking at this. So far the viola's on top, and then at that octave switch it trades place. Let's try that.
Home of legends, tragedy, adventure.
Yeah, the hardest part is just getting the timing. And then once you've got your scaffold in place or your skeleton in place, you can just kind of put the muscles on.
Home of legends, tragedy, adventure. And the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
I feel like I can't hear the horn. Right. Little mistake there.
Home of legends, tragedy.
I dragged the thing out of place when I should have copied it. There it is.
Home of legends. Home of legends, tragedy, adventure. And the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
Right. Right. And I definitely copied a sustain trigger in there from the horn parts. Let's get rid of that. Now, I already have section cellos in there. It might be tricky to put in the solo cello. I mean, it wouldn't be tricky. I think it would just kind of get buried. But I might as well just do it. I mean, it's just going to get sort of, the sound is probably going to get mostly absorbed into the cello section. Is that it? I thought I had like a cello line. What am I doing? Oh, I guess I'm mistaken.
Unique in our solar system. The origin of life on our planet. Home of legends, tragedy, adventure. And the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
Right. mistake here. Oh, probably copied this tuba part. I probably copied by accident one of my cello legato parts into the tuba.
Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
Yeah. See, that sounded like a documentary. Oh, this is too much fun. I don't want to stop. I'm going to go for 20 minutes more, I think.
Unique in our solar system. The origin of life on our planet. Home of legends, tragedy, adventure.
All right, just one little tweak here. The solo violinist kind of peters out there. Let's just get these parts sounding really good.
Unique in our solar system. The origin of life on our planet. Home of legend.
I guess he would have to kind of lift the bow to get down to the low G string. Let's see if we can make it sound more like he's actually doing it. Oh, right when I wanted to hear it. I'm getting a new hard drive in. Hopefully it should be nice and speedy. It's an SSD, and I'm going to put my library on it, so hopefully we're not going to have some of these problems. Alright, a little bit fake there. So it does need to lift the bow. It should be almost imperceptible. I think that might be as good as I can do with samples.
Unique in our solar system. The origin of life on our planet. Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
All right, so scoring to picture. So here's something I thought I was going to have to make a bigger deal of musically. This change in the speed of the cinematography, right? So it's a slow-mo. Let me throw this on here. This slow-mo panning up, and then it goes into faster movement. It feels like the narration kind of gives us the energy. Now there might be something I can put in there to kind of emphasize that a little bit. It's a nice sort of send-off or shove-off into the title card. I think there's a little sound design element in there. Let me solo this track. I think there's a little sound design element.
And the diversity of life itself.
Yeah, that's so subtle. Oh, man. Well, if it's subtle, then maybe I need to do something subtle in the music.
Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
Something subtle. So part of my grand scheme was to get organ in here.
Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
Of course, that didn't do anything for the thing I was just talking about with that little speed up, but it sounds good in there. Love those double octave organ flutes. Super nice. There's gotta be something to show. That little lift off. What if we have the lead violin, solo violin sort of arpeggio up to the upper octave? So we're doing that here. That would be nice. Could be kind of subtle. Where does that happen?
And the diversity.
Well, there it is.
And the diversity of life itself.
A little bit clunky, but I think I can get that to work. Okay. Triplet. Yeah, I think this is going to work out.
And the diversity of life itself. And the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
Whoops. Kicked the pedal.
And the diversity of life itself. And the diversity of life itself.
All right, I think that's going to work. Let me just get the timing here. So we want it to feel like it's going to start to move. We want it to really feel like it's going to start to move on this little speed up. Whoop, right there. Tricky.
And the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
All right, so we changed sort of the balance of that chord now because I have this spacing between the two upper parts that's a bit wider than an octave, more than a bit. Right there. So it seems like it's missing something. Again, I don't want to orchestrate too heavily. It's not time for that yet, but I think I need to add in one more element to just balance things a little bit with that chord voicing. And it sort of happens right at this little mini climax, so I think I can get away with adding something like a trumpet to plug this gap in our voicing. Not a loud trumpet.
Diversity of life itself. The ocean.
Well, it's a start. We'll get there.
Diversity of life itself. The ocean.
Let's hear it with the bass parts in there. One more time.
The ocean. Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
All right, it's feeling a bit more balanced, but it's like all I hear now is solo cello. I was thinking before I would hear no solo cello, and now that's all I'm hearing. Just solo cello.
The origin of life on our planet. Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity.
He can cut through everything.
The origin of life on our planet.
Stop that.
On our planet.
Oh, just do it.
Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
All right, cool. One last tweak there. That ornamented release of the suspension. Now that I have the trumpet playing the note that releases the suspension, that resolves the suspension. Sorry, I have the trumpet playing the note that is the ornament of the resolution of the suspension. It's not quite as satisfying. B. It's playing a B in layman's terms. So that ornament is less meaningful, doesn't quite have the impact I want, so let's do a different ornament.
The origin of life on our planet. Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
It's a bit nicer. I still feel like that chord is a little bit too wide open. The voicings are too far apart. I hesitate to put in more stuff.
The ocean. The ocean. Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
The chord feels a bit more balanced now. Just want to make sure my voice leading is decent. I have suspicions. That's what I thought. We get parallel octaves in there. Well, here, I have a special caption for that to put on the screen. I guess I didn't need to double the third. think it works.
Unique in our solar system. The origin of life on our planet. Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
All right, I think that's going to work for now. The viola entrance, I need to bring up the volume a little bit. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it for tonight. Let me just check that.
Unique in our solar system. The origin of life on our planet. Home of legends, tragedy, adventure, and the diversity of life itself. The ocean.
I think that's good for now. Let me just take a quick peek at what's coming up here. I'm calling it Act 1, and I think I can be a lot more loose in how things are timed. So this is where I think I need to bring in more arpeggiation.
The ocean is home to some 94% of the species on our planet. Around 250,000 are known to us. The rest remain undiscovered, with new ones coming to light every day. To humans, it's a playground.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. I'm going to leave it right there. I'll be back again tomorrow at 1:30 Pacific, and I hope again to get on in the evening. So thanks for watching. I'll always post these onto YouTube after I'm done with the session. Feel free to check them out there. I hope you like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be doing this a lot. And feel free to ask questions. I've been having some nice interaction with people on Facebook and Twitter. And I'm happy to say that they're starting to guide some of the content, which is what I was hoping for. So if you have any suggestions, by all means, let me know. That's it for now. Thanks and good night.